Good morning, everybody. We have had Anzac Day and some other public holidays in April. So hopefully it's felt like a little bit of a relaxed kind of month, a little bit of a reverent kind of month with remembering what has been done for us all those years past. So today, what I thought was appropriate was to talk all about emotions. And last week, I was running a workshop all around emotional intelligence for a great client. And in the conversation around emotions at the end, when we were talking about and sharing what each person had learned about emotions, one of the people in the workshop said, I learnt that all of my colleagues have emotions. So, the first tip about emotions is not only does everyone have them, but we are emotional animals. We like to think we're logical and rational and objective, but I actually don't think that that is very true most of the time. The majority of the time, humans are emotional animals, and our behaviors and our actions are very often motivated by what our thinking has created as an emotion. Now, I talk about our thinking creating our emotions because before any kind of emotion, you have a thought. Now, sometimes that thought is just a really unconscious thought, and you wouldn't even be able to separate the thought. But sometimes you have a thought like, oh my goodness, there's a mouse. And so, therefore, you feel fear. And yes, I'm giving you a real example of me at home. Give me a snake, give me a spider any day of the week, but don't give me a mouse. So, the second tip around emotions is that you have a thought before you actually have the feeling. So, for many of us, we don't have enough conscious awareness to work out what our thought is prior to our emotion, but a thought we have. Now, the importance of having a thought before an emotion is because we can have some sort of influence over our thinking. Therefore, we can influence our emotions. So we're not just totally at the behest of these emotions that take over us at the most inappropriate of times. We do have some element of being able to lead and to control and to manage those emotions. So go out there today, and if you are feeling a certain way, feel it and allow yourself to feel it and then do something about it. For me, I give myself a time limit. If I'm feeling really bad or really demotivated or really like I don't want to get out of my pajamas one day or something like that, I totally allow myself to do that, but I give myself a time limit and I'll say, okay, an hour or 2 hours after feeling this way. And then I actively go to do something to transmute and to shift that emotion into something that's a bit more constructive for me. So you might try that tip. There's a whole range of tips on emotional intelligence. All you need to do is Google emotional intelligence and you'll find any number of different tips about how you can make that better in your world. The last tip I'm going to give you about emotional intelligence is very often the people with very, very high IQs will have lower EQs. So you might find the doctors, the lawyers, the accountants among us, the ones that have very high IQs, are usually a little bit more average in the emotional intelligence area. Every single one of us can develop our emotions, and I look forward to chatting with you more about them later on. If you'd like to know more about what we do, go to 3wsbeingmorehuman.com and we can work with your teams, individuals, and organizations to help them reach their potential. Cheers.